Is it possible you can escape Angola?
It's possible, but it's hard. Like, if you escape that, you gotta know how to swim like Michael Phelps with them crocodiles, you hear me? Cause, you know, Angola just, it's like a bowl, you hear me? Sitting surrounded by buku water around the river. So if you could swim across that and get past all them water monsters and all that, yeah, you legit. Now I say legit, cause they gonna have the mother people waiting on you on the other side, you hear me? So I don't think it could escape. If he could, well, he a smart motherfucker. You gotta really learn that land for real, you hear me? Cause that's 18,000 acres surrounded by buku water, so it ain't easy to escape out that. I never even had no thoughts of escaping out that bitch, you hear me?
And so you hear life and you actually get life. What was going through your mind?
I walked out the courtroom laughing like, man, it's crazy. Like, I know he didn't just give me no life. And once I got to Angola, got that rap sheet that had them 4 letters on it. I'm like, this serious, they meant what they said, you hear me? I was thinking about that whole ride to Angola, you hear me? Like, I don't really got life. Sparking like they rather me dead. Block talking, not a cop stalking like niggas rather me cage. Lord knows my I'd rather be saved. The way the streets left me traumatized, dealing with insanity ways. Kendrick spitting about the vanity slave. Interrogation, he was making statements talking about them hammers I blaze. Straight savage, I ain't meant to behave. I'm from the jungle where the wild rumble killing over minimum wage. Most rappers again spit too violent. Knowing they ain't about violence. Catch a body, knowing he ain't too solid. No brainer with the senseless violence. And if I spit that knowledge, just watch him like the sense ain't common. What's up, man? You already know J Merc in here. We rocking with Video Wayne, you hear me? Showtime at the Apollo.
Where you from, bro? What city and area?
I'm from New Orleans, man. That's 7 Wall, St. Bernard Project. It was rough. It was a struggle, you hear me? You know, we all go through that, you know what I'm saying? Poverty, Section 8 housing, you already know it.
Have you ever been arrested?
Yeah, I've been in jail when I was 13. A robbery. Charged me with some a murder that took place. Well, they ain't charged me, you know, the shit was dismissed, whatever, but, you know, I was like a person of interest to this shit. Some took place in the area where I was at, and, you know, they came for me about it, you hear me? So I wound up going to jail for all that shit. And they wound up throwing that shit out.
Okay, and let's back up a little bit. But there was a DA, not a DA, but
a detective?
It was a detective.
Yeah, see, she was a detective on another case, you hear me? Once I came home off that charge, it's like she was just hounding me, you hear me? Like, any little murders, attempt murders, drive-by shooting, whatever, anything, you know, dealing with shooting shit, she's saying my name coming up. And I'm like, you know, I don't even hang in these areas, I don't love my name coming up. But all that shit was just a personal vendetta from me walking on a case that you try to put me on, you hear me? I used to be running from her and everything, like she chasing me. You know, she pulling up at my house talking about she got calls of illegal discharge of a firearm and shit. And you're a homicide detective. You only called out when a murder take place, you hear me? So, you know.
Damn, but you was 15 and she was on you like that.
And she was on me, you hear me? They had a little situation at my mama's house. We was living in Bunker Hill. You know, my brother-in-law was in there, he playing with the gun and all that. Boom, the gun go off. And a bullet went through the neighbor wall. You know, they called the police. All the police come in that shit. All them talking to my people, you know, my brothers and them, they like, man, they can't do GSR on me because I was a juvenile, and they had a little detective in that bitch. And he was like, man, your face looks so familiar, you been to jail before? I'm like, no, I ain't never been to jail, you hear me? He like, you sure? I'm like, man, I'm positive. So if I run your name, I'm like, man, I'm good, you hear me? I ain't never been to jail, I'm straight. And another police was like, man, yeah, he the one from, you know, the with the Skyview when he went to jail in Skyview for the that we charged him with before. He was like, oh yeah, you did went to jail. You was the one that they charged with the murder. I'm like, man, look, I ain't do that shit, you hear me? So he was like, man, what happened with that case? I'm like, I'm right here in front of you.
Can we talk about what led to the arrest and everything?
You know, me and my partners, you hear me? We went on a lick, you hear me? Okay. We were trying to go rob some people. I was some, you know, money and guns, and the shit turned out bad, you hear me? Turned out that the people's security guards, Air Force officers and they turned into a shootout, you hear me? So, I mean, yeah, it was a shootout. My little partner wound up dying from a ricochet bullet, one of the bullets bouncing off something and hitting him in the chest. And that's how he died. And, you know, like a week later, you know, the people come got me, charged me with this shit, whatever. You know, they got with me told on, man. So, yeah, that's what took place with that situation.
And so you arrested and you waiting trial and everything, right? What was going on then? You were in the parish?
Yeah, I was in the parish.
Okay, what was it parish like?
And the parish was hectic. But I say hectic, that bitch was hectic, you hear me? I'm talking about they getting jugged up left and right, you hear me? You know, I was on a juvenile tip for like 2-3 years, you hear me? Top me like 17, 18, and I wound up signing the paper going into adult population. And that's when I went to seeing all type of crazy shit taking place, you hear me? Right, like it was different from the shit they seeing on on a juvenile tip, just fighting a lot, you hear me? This buku 15, 16, 17-year-old, all we doing is fighting a lot, you hear me? So once I got into adult population, that's when it was time to pick them knives up, you hear me? Because shit was critical, you hear me? So yeah, it was rough.
You get a trial, right? You
right.
Go on trial. Did you have any idea that you may be getting life?
I mean, after I got found guilty, once I was convicted, I wound up asking my lawyer what I'm facing, you hear me? He like, well, we're gonna try to push for the minimum. The minimum was, life with parole after 35 years, you hear me? So I was like, damn, dog, like I ain't never been on trial for no murders. I ain't know what the fuck they expect, you hear me? So yeah, that was a difficult time for me.
What was going through your mind? What were you feeling, bro, at that time?
I mean, really, I was cool, really, you hear me? Really just trying to see how everything gonna play out and, see if the real facts was gonna come to light. Like I said, the charge was, my best friend here. So, his mom and him was pushing the issue. Like, man, I want him to get life. Like, I don't give a what other charges he got. I want justice for my son, you hear me? So,
yeah, that was your friend, though.
Right.
And so you hear life and you actually get life. What was going through your mind?
Man, when them people sentenced me, I ain't even gonna lie, like, I walked out the courtroom laughing like, man, this shit crazy. Like, I know he didn't just give me no life. I said, man, this shit not real here. Maybe he just with me and I gotta come back and get another sound. He ain't about to give me no life. They don't even feel right for me to have no life. It ain't sound right to me. And once I got to Angola, got that rap sheet, and that bitch had them 4 letters on it. I'm like, this shit serious. They meant what they said, you hear me? I was thinking about that whole ride to Angola, you hear me? Like, damn, like, I don't really got life. The only thing that I could say that I liked about Angola, as far as me doing my time, that bitch was bust open. It's a lot of freedom, you hear me? So
like a big ass city in it.
That bitch a big ass city. I'm talking about you dress how you want. Well, the people to be like, I don't know what the fuck you think you at. You dressing like you about to go to the BTY Awards and all that. Like skinny jeans and you got shoes that just came out last week. You been up here. How the fuck you get them, you hear me?
Boosie. Yeah. Boosie was in Angola. Did you?
Yeah, I went up there with him. Boosie had wound up, getting released like 2 years before I made it up there. I still was in the parish on A4 when Boosie went home.
Was there any truth to Boosie being on PC that you know of?
I mean, not that I know of. I didn't hear stories, due to the fact of his celebrity status and, people just ain't want him, around certain motherfuckers. You hear me? So sometimes the people just put you on that shit involuntarily. You hear me? And be bucking like, I don't want to be on this shit. You got us locked down all day. They're trying to go down a walk, go in population and, do their thing. People like, man, no, you gonna stay in the cell, you hear me? If you don't maximum security, PC, yeah, you gonna be locked down in that dungeon or whatever, you hear me?
Because of who he is, he could create a situation.
Right.
Somebody could try to rob him or do him something. Anything
I mean,
right?
Anything is possible in Angola, you hear me?
What Telly like back then?
Man, Telly quiet. Like, he a laid back dude, you hear me? Like, from the that I used to hear about Telly, when I first seen him, I'm thinking Telly was gonna be a big old tall, he already got the beard, the big old face, who looking at him on the picture, you would think he a big old, you hear me? And Telly not too, he not that much taller than me, you hear me? Like, he stay out the way, he don't fuck nobody, stay out the people with. All Telly do is work out all day, you hear me?
You on the weights?
Yeah, like, we used to go in the gym, when me and C Murder used to be in there balling, me, my partner T7, we'll go with Telly Hankton, go working out with him and shit.
At what point did you realize I could be going home?
I really ain't know I was going home. Like, I used to be talking to my lawyer. They was saying, court dates and shit. Like, we gonna set some shit up trying to get you back in court. Once I got back in court, I was just like telling my lawyer, man, look, throw these numbers out. This what I'm willing to take, you hear me? I don't want to do no more time. I'm ready to go home, you hear me? So, it was like, man, look, we gonna see what we could do. Holler at the DA. bring up all the, you know, claims and the facts and shit of the case, and after that we gonna see how they gonna play it, you hear me? And you know, that day I woke up, I wound up going to court. Them took all my time back and resentenced me to 14 years, you hear me? Credit for time served. I come home 2 years parole, you hear me?
And so you've been home now?
I've been home now like what? What's the day, the 12th? I've been home like 12 days now, you hear me?
And altogether you did how much time?
I did 12 flat. Hard time. From 15 to 27, 28 in the slam, boy, that's hard time, dog. A life sentence? Man, that shit ain't easy at all. And I ain't even gonna sit here and make it sound easy. That shit was hard. A lot of niggas be thinking that shit easy to get that time back, boy. That ain't easy. You gotta really be focused and dedicated for real.
Yeah, I just keep thinking 15. Like,
yeah, it was hard.
The development of your mind at that time, you know?
Yeah.
At any point did you cry, bro, about behind that shit?
Oh, right. Like after the trial, I cried because I was like, man, you know, like I said, the nigga that was with me, that's who told on me, and you already know I was trying to get business handled so I could go home, you hear me? And shit ain't turned out the way, you know, I expected, and I was just f***ed up about it. And I was like, all the peep that I was with, you know, niggas I was rolling with, I'm like, dawg, y'all just really left me in this bitch, you hear me? Me going to jail, it saved it for real, you hear me? Like just, you know, I had to go lay down and just, you know, get my mind right, you hear me? Because, you know, as I was growing up, I went to, you know, like I said, I was balling, but I went to dabbing into the streets, and I became a little wild, you hear me? Like not thinking, just doing shit, you know, just for a name, you hear me? You know, just for people to know, yeah, I'm about that, I'm with that, you hear me? But yeah, I had to go lay down and get my mind right, dog. That, you know, that shit wasn't what it was, you hear me?
You have life. You still had hope that you was getting out, or was there?
Right, I had hope. I like I said, I felt like, man, I'm a blessed child, you hear me? So, yeah, they probably say life, but I ain't feel like I was gonna be on no life sentence forever. I'm like, man, this not my final destination, you hear me? I was just like, dog, like, I really went to building my own feet, like, boy, look, that shit, them people, I don't care how nobody feel, nobody think about me, I'm gonna get out this bitch, you hear me? You hear me? I'm gonna find my way out, and when I get out, oh yeah, I'm gonna make everybody hate me, because they ain't gonna like the way I'm gonna get out, but I'm gonna get out for sure.
Did you have your moments where you were doubtful?
I was never doubtful at all. I always just, you know, I had a lawyer, and he used to always just tell me, man, look, we gonna be good. Once we do this, the appeal shit, you know, we got these merit claims, the ground's gonna be strong, we gonna be good, just don't get into nothing, try to stay out of trouble. And I didn't know if he was serious or not, and I went to showing, you know, the paperwork, and they were like, man, you were 15, man, them people ain't gonna give you no life. And you know, after I got found guilty, it took them people like 3 years just to sentence me to life, you hear me? So they were like, man, dog, it took them 3 years to give you a life sentence, so you're not gonna have no life. So them people out to give you 10, 15 years, you're gonna be home, you hear me? And, you know, just hearing people say that, I just always felt like, you know, I ain't really good at the law, but just looking who did know it, I'm like, yeah, I'm just taking their word, and, you know, they really built me up, like, kept my faith strong as a motherfucker, you hear me? Like, dog, you gonna go home, son. You gonna be good, just stay focused. Get up that road, learn that law, and you're gonna be right back down here. And I'm talking about within that next year after I got life, you hear me? I was back in their face, you hear me, G? I'm down here now.
BTY, I'm on parole, rolling trees up. If rap don't work, then chuck back the cooking keys up.
Cause I was looking forward to, you know, with that when I came home on some music shit, we go do our thing together, you hear me?
Musically, lyrically, what did that do for you? Did it make you go harder? Or at one point you felt like you ain't gonna with it? Or?
Oh, I ain't never gave up. It always made me want to go hard. Anytime I rap, you hear me? But being around, you know, Young'n, you know, G-Jerk, you know, all these cold-blooded niggas, you know, I want to just, you know, get my flow up, you know, because I used to write slow, you hear me? Like, I used to take me a whole day to write the verse, you hear me? I'm talking about Young used to be like, bitch, come on. You know, he gone, I'm trying to hurry up, finish my shit, G-Jerk, like, look, you been writing since last night, boy, it's about to be last feed up, man, come on, man, this just 16 bars. I'm like, it was kind of hard, you hear me?
Okay.
I ain't lying, but once I had to slow down, like, you know what? I'm listening to people so much to the point I wasn't even thinking about what I want to say. I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, just rush through it and make it sound good, you hear me? when I went to thinking like, man, just say some shit, just talk and make it make sense, you hear me? And I'm alright. And I just went to just trying shit and I'm like, alright, I got it. And I just went to just putting my rhythm to it, and after that I just went to, you know, just letting it flow. My little generation, all they know is slide on oppositions. So lately I've been thinking ways to offer proposition. Cause I remember back when I ain't had a pot to piss in, pockets hurting, I was lurking for a spot to kick in. I'm in the fourth quarter, so I ain't too far from winning. Salah 5 times a day, I ain't too far from sinning. My homie died, I guess that's why I got the harsher sentence. I'm talking life in prison, no parole chances given, thinking different. Now I begin to wishing, would've paid attention, still I listen. Dreaming of Dan, I swear as you I'm missing in my city. So it's killing like it's the way of living, make them feel it. Give it to them raw, this is what the streets been missing. Speak the truth, gotta save the youth and motivate the trenches. Let them know that it ain't no future when you selling dope. I give them hope, give it to them raw, that make them feel me more. And even pain can feel what I feel, so I don't let it show. For real, I just talk that shit, I don't rap, man.
What's the end game? Where you see yourself 5, 10 years from now with this shit?
Oh man, look, 5, 10 years from now, I ain't even gonna lie, you hear me? I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm still painting my picture right now, you hear me? But I'm gonna say in 5 years, I'm gonna be able to answer that, you hear me? Prove, you hear me? I ain't gonna have to say too much, you hear me?
Been on 14 days.
And 12 days.
12 days.
12 days. I'm gonna say a year from now, just follow the movement, you hear me? You already know it's gonna be, yeah, it's real, it's lit. All true, all solid shit, you hear me? I put it like this here. I'm a hustler all the way around the board, you hear me? So I'm not gonna never rush my process and up my progress, you hear me?
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So it don't matter how much time it take, you hear me? I'm gonna get there. And it won't be long, you hear me? You gonna roll your window up on your car, you gonna pull off. By the time you get to the stop sign, you gonna be rolling that bitch down, I'm gonna be on side you, hear me? I'm here.
Well, he a guy I had met a couple of years ago, probably about 10 years ago, through BTY Young'n. They was in jail together in the parish, and like I said, Young'n put him on the phone one day. Young'n was, I was doing the stuff with Young'n with his music and stuff like that on the management side, and Young'n had got me to get on the phone with him or whatever. He was like, "Gee, bro, I want you to this dude that rap with him." I'm like, "Man, everybody be trying to rap to me because my brother in Angola, and he got a lot of people that be always trying to rap to me too, so I'm so used to that. But Young'n don't act like talking about it to let me hear nobody rap. So I knew it had to be something different about him, but I was like, all right, put him on the phone. So when I got on the phone, he was like, "Man, I want to spit something to you." But I'm like, all right, go ahead. Like, "Man, and then he finally rapped, and when he did, it be a weird whatever. I had damn near got goosebumps and shit like that. So when I heard that and it gave me chills, I knew he was different, and I see why Young'n had put me on the phone with him. So ever since then, he always was telling me, bro, probably gonna come home one day. I know it don't seem like it. I know a lot of dudes probably talk to you from jail, but if I ever come home, would you work with me? And I was like, man, yeah, if you ever come home, I would work with you or whatever. Which not knowing it really was gonna happen, but because people be fighting for their freedom a long time.
Actually, you met Young'n at the parish, or?
Yeah, I met Young'n in the parish.
And how was that, bro? How did you guys connect?
We was going to court, and he had a fight on the docks, you hear me? And I broke this up, like, we were trying to bush him. I'm like, I ain't about to go down like that, you hear me? So like, man, that's world beef. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about none of that, you hear me? That's, I fuck with dude, you hear me? So if y'all gonna fight, give him a fair shake, you hear me?
Yeah.
So after that, they wound up putting him in a back tank, like, man, he can't be on the docks. So like, man, you come on too. I'm like, I ain't had no fight with him, man, you come on too. So I wound up going back there. We running it. He asked me who I am, and I'm approaching him like, bitch, I heard you be rapping and shit. I went to spitting for him and shit, you hear me? And after that, he just went to rapping to me. We just went to running it, you hear me? And I wound up checking off another tip to get on the tip by my cousin, and Young'n was on that tip. And once I went up there, my cousin was like, look, that's Jay Murder, that's my little cousin, fuck with him. He like, yeah, I fuck with dude, I met him on the docks, whatever. And after that, we went to making hookups and shit. And after that, we just went to with each other, writing raps and shit together. So
connect you with GD.
Yeah, for sure he did.
Talk about GD, man. When you first met GD, what you think?
Oh man, this is the funniest shit ever. We were sitting there eating, and I think I was writing a rap, I was writing a song, and he was like, man, I'm about to call my manager. I'm like, yeah, man, see what's up with dude, man. See if you can link me with dude. He like, man, I'm about to call him, and I'm gonna let you spit for him, you hear me? Run that song to him. I'm like, all right, bet. So he called G to hear me. Be like, man, look, my little son G Murder, you be spitting, I want you to check him out. So he like, dig. I get on the phone. I'm like, what's up, yo? He like, man, what's up with it? I'm like, look, man, I wanted you to check me. He's like, all right, what's up? I'm like, damn, man, this hell is like, he really ain't trying to fuck with that, you hear me? I'm like, man, look, man, I had some shit I wanted. He's like, all right, what's up? He like, man, just spit for him. I can't afford another guilty verdict, another life sentence. Joseph Angola to my life ending. I'd be a fool to make my mama cry, become a victim of a homicide, leave my fam traumatized. So when I went to rapping that shit to him, like I blew his mind, you hear me? Like, damn. He like, man, dog, you really nice, bro. He like, man, that's Young. You know, Young ain't gonna put no energy on the phone. And at that time, he like, man, I wanted to tell the Young, I wasn't trying to hear no rap and all that at that moment, you hear me? But he like, once he heard me, he knew I was with something, you hear me? So after that, dude like, man, look, they got money on the phone. I'm gonna be coming see Young. You know, whenever I come see you, know, you gonna see me, whatever, just with me, I'm gonna with you, you hear me? And I'm talking about the whole time I was locked up, I'm talking about G'd it up, you know, Joseph like 10 summers, you hear me? And I ain't even met dude, I never seen them before in person, you hear me?
BTY popped, like he was on his way, he was in jail.
Right.
What was going through your mind then?
I was happy for him, you hear me? I was like, that bitch finally about to do his shit. I just hope he get the out the city, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? I was always happy for his success. I felt like if he can do it, I already know what I'm about to come home and do, you hear me? Cause like I said, we both was, you know what I'm saying, doing the same shit on the same type of time, you hear me? You know, we used to rap together, you hear me?
Y'all, were you guys still talking?
Yeah, right, you know, he was Joseph me.
And then you get the news. How'd you get the news, bro?
I was working on a song that I was gonna record with him over the phone. And I wound up calling my brother, hit my phone. And when he called me, he like, man, what you doing? I'm like, bitch, I'm writing, you hear me? I'm about to record this song with Young'n, you hear me? He was like, man, he like, bitch, that's what I was calling to tell you, that boy got smashed, you hear me? I'm like, what you mean? He like, man, they killed that boy dead, you hear me? It's all over YouTube and everything, you hear me? And when I went on and I seen it, I was like, man, bro, I ain't know what to say, you hear me? I couldn't even drop it to you, hear me? Cause I felt like I kept saying, bro, just leave the city. Just leave, you hear me? Like, the city gonna follow you regardless because of who you is. You already stamped, you got status already. So, just go ahead and push out, you hear me? For some reason, he just felt like, man, I can't leave right now, you hear me? I ain't know his reasons, but yeah, I was fucked up, you hear me? Remember Andy lost his life squeezing. Remember nights in the can doing life for my mans. On the life for my mans, I did it right for my mans. Middle finger to you. I swear my right to the man. Ricky Stewart, ain't no need to holler. You dropped a dime, you don't need a dollar. Should've spoke the heat to get your breathing problems. Yeah, see, like when I got to Angola, I met up with Buku, you hear me? Like, that was in the parish with me, you know, that was Joseph with me in the parish. I ran into C Murder, Telly Hankton and all them, you know, so yeah, I was with all them up there.
Gotcha. Did they embrace you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially C, you know, C a real for sure. All the way around the board, you hear me?
So what was you guys built a relationship? You and C used to talk?
Oh yeah, man, C used to always talk. I used to always go pull up on him, go smoke with him and shit. You know, they had the food clubs up there too, so we used to always go eat, go play ball in the gym and shit, you hear me?
That's for his character. Who is C?
C a regular with money, I'm gonna just put it like that. Like C feel like I'm in this bitch with you. You don't gotta treat me like no celebrity and all that, cause I'm right here sleeping right next to you. You know what I'm saying? So all that snapping pictures of me and you don't gotta do all that, man.
You ever share any street stories with you?
We didn't talk a lot about shit. You know, like he told me about a fight he had with his manager. I think it was a manager of the security or something, you hear me? He was like, yeah, you know, man, the manager had a fight. I bit that on his shoulder. That still got my teeth marked. I'm like, yeah, them goals, huh? So yeah, I used to always be with them Joes and all that, but that's my son for real, you hear me? I with C.
And when you came home, C was still there?
No, C had wound up getting shipped to Hunts. You know, he had a lot of groupies and shit up there, so, you know, the people were feeling like C was just highly influenced, you hear me? Especially with them up there, so all type.
You say, what you mean?
Like females, you hear me? The guards, the guards up there, you know, everybody gonna be bringing shit, cigarettes and all that, so people felt like, you know, to prevent that, we gotta get them to promote you. I don't think C ever got caught with no shit like that, but, you know, used to be, you know, getting cigarettes, you know, cause C smoked them cigarettes, you hear me? They, you know, bring them bags of jewels and shit, and you know, be telling on a man and all that. So by him being who he is, the people gonna automatic, yeah, he influencing the population. Like Angola it's a $1 billion prison. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make money all through that bitch. And they check me probably after 2 weeks, $2,000, $2,200 for them 12, 16-hour shifts. When you could just bring in some cigarettes, weed, or whatever, phones, whatever, man, let nigga give you $5,000 right then and there. People feel like, man, I'd rather come do this here, with this here, you hear me? So, most definitely I'm gonna with it, but only if you gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying, on the low, whatever, so that's how they was moving.
Welcome home or whatever, I mean, after what, 12 summers, huh?
12 summers, baby, free me, understand?
Oh, shit.
How you do it? I don't play that shit. How you do it? Cut up. You lucky I was I'm saying, I'm out
man,
here.
I said you come home. I said on Instagram, and I saw that you guys got the champagne. You celebrating. Yes, indeed. I know that had to feel good.
Oh man, I ain't even know how to pop them bitches. I ain't lying, you hear me?
Right, what was that night like being home?
I mean, that bitch was epic. I'm talking about because everybody was with me. A lot of the city showed me love for sure. I'm saying, buku of my little partners, you know, Red in a can that was with me that I with, all them showed me love. So, you know, I come home, you know, everybody made sure I was good. I was on my feet, you hear me?
The first time we sat down was about how long ago?
Over a year ago.
And that was in celebration of your release.
Yeah.
Release from what?
From Angola.
How much time?
12 years.
After the 12 years, after the video we did, you come home, you making noise, get bird attention, y'all, you know, you had a conversation and everything, and then you end up going back to jail.
Right. Dead to the world 12 years now, finally living. 30K for a pair of lawyers just to handle the business. I shook a L and made it out, gave hope to niggas in prison. Soon as I touched, I got the fuck, went far away from the trenches, I got my hands up. I double back and turned my friends up. 90 days of freedom, I went AMG to Benz truck. Grinding day and night for all them nights, it wasn't here enough. Took many losses, now I count my blessings, add my wins up. I just been working, we been traveling. You know, I done went to Miami and shit, went sat down with Birdman, you hear me in the studio, whatever, we talked, whatever. You know, discussed all type of shit, whatever. So,
what's his opinion about you?
I mean, you know, Bird was fucking with me. You know, Bird fucking with me, for sure.
So you guys talk? You had a conversation with him?
Oh, yeah. You know, man, Bird talk all the time, you know?
Okay.
You know, he was Joseph, man. Like, he helped while I was in jail, you hear me? Like, you know, he used to be hollering, reaching out to Jeter and shit, you hear me? So, you know, he hollered a few times, you know, help pay on lawyer fees and all that, you hear me? So, like, we done built a little bond, you hear me? Like, we cool, like, you hear me?
Say, bro, what made him do that? He just knew your situation and just like...
He ain't know of the situation at all, you hear me? Like, he ain't know nothing about nothing. You know, Jeter was, you know, about to go fuck with the A&R position, about to get the cash money A&R position, and, you know, he like, man, you know, this was going on, I'm about to go out there, you know, I won't bring you out there, whatever, you hear me? I'm like, bet, he like, man, Bird, you know, Stunner won't holler at you too, he won't meet you anyway. I'm like, dig, I'm like, all right, you know, I'm with it. And we went out there, you hear me? Come on now. You hear me? Tell them I'll be here when they come for me. Me and every single nigga that got love for me. See, I got money on my mind, but it ain't gonna leave me alone. So I'm riding every day with every pistol that I own.
What was that sit down like? Was it any nervousness within yourself, or were you?
I mean, not at all. Not at all. You know, I felt like, I mean, the shit was so crazy, cause like when I first was in that bitch, like I walked straight past on her, you hear me? Like, look, it was so crazy. I'm like, man, we on the strip, whatever, you know, we on the beach, whatever, chilling, whatever. You know, Jeter, like, man, we gotta be at the studio at a certain time. We gotta meet Stunner like 9, 10 o'clock at the studio. I'm like, all right, bet. We hit the studio, whatever. I'm talking about, man, Stunner don't come in that bitch about 1 in the morning, you hear me? I'm like, you know, we done recorded and shit, you hear me? Nigga in that bitch recording, we done smoked and all that. I'm like, man, I'm about to go outside, man. That nigga ain't coming this bitch yet, you hear me? I'm still trying to see what Miami life like, you hear me? So, you know, I'm walking out the booth, whatever, and it's so fucking dope. I'm talking about that nigga walk straight past me, you hear me? Like, what's up, Merc? I'm like, what's up, nigga? And kept going, you hear me?
Did you know it was him?
I ain't even noticed, you hear me? Like, I'm just, like, I'm moving so fast, like, trying to get out the door to go smoke. I ain't even pay attention to who that was, you hear me? I turned around, like, man, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I look like he looking at me like, what's up? Like, nigga, you ain't recognize him? So I go dab him off and shit. You know, I holler, whatever. I'm like, man, I'm about to go smoke, you hear me? Like, man, go do you. Like, we about to, you know, I'm about to come fuck with y'all. I'm about to come holler at y'all, whatever, you hear me? I'm going to Belgium, I'm smoking. I'm talking about I hit that bitch like 3-4 times and it set in on me. Like, man, you just walk past stunning, man. Man, so he trying to holler at y'all. I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck this, you hear me? I went back inside, like, and, you know, all us went sat down and, you know, we in there, he talking, whatever, you know, dropping jewels, giving us the game and shit, you hear me? So, that was a fire, let's sit down, you hear me? Like, meet and greet, you hear me?
But then something happened, so what happened that stopped it?
I ended up going back to jail for some, you know, parole violation shit, you hear me? So, crazy charges, you know, nonsense shit, you hear me? But, you know, charges, I'm still fighting right now, but, you know, I got, like, I had so many charges that people put me on, but, like, you know, I just went to court, you know, they dropped some charges, so it pretty much just, you know.
So you said after the 12 years, after the video we did, you come home, you making noise, get bird attention, y'all, you know, you had a conversation and everything, and then you end up going back to jail.
Right.
I tell them I just came home, shit then got real. Niggas turned snake, then black dad got killed. Couple homies turned state, nigga, I was upstate. Life sentence in Angola, waiting to appeal. Feel a nigga, how the fuck you think a nigga feel? Fighting these murder charges and your trial ain't go right.
I'm still fighting, dude, you know, I'm on house, I'm out on buying right now, you hear me? Fighting and shit.
The love bird shows, you feel you owe them anything behind that?
Loyalty, you know. It's all love, you hear me? Anybody show you love, you hear me? It's only right you do the same in return. They want to see me fail, lock me back in cells. Convicted felon with a weapon, send me back to jail. Violated terms of my parole, couldn't even post a bail. So now it's back to Joseph waiting, name call for mail. I know some niggas in that field waiting on a pill. I heard some niggas held their nuts thinking I would fail. But I prevail and I got stunned on my line for real. Rich gang on the sale, bitch, I'm about to sign a deal. For real, my life got way realer. Sitting at the labor round table with some made niggas. Gold chain hanging from my sneakers like a slave nigga. Knowing how I got it from the bottom, now I'm paid nigga. And I'm the realest on the rise, it won't be denied. A pill money about the freedom guys, so don't be surprised. Scary hours every time we slide, know somebody died. OTS them savage ass killers in my entourage. Come on now. Oh, this a big ass house in Red Breeze, bro.
Yeah, that'd be like a car park.
For real. It's like a belt on a motor or something.
And why give you such a big one?
Guess I'm just a big man now, I know.
That's crazy. It must be the old ones or something.
Man, it's gotta be this the new ones. This bitch vibrating everything. Make police sirens and everything. See, once I came home from Angola, I just always felt like I was never going back upstate no more. You hear me? Like, you know, that jail shit behind me is over. You know, I'm about to go live, you hear me? But it's like, once I got back up there, I'm like, man, like, you know, back to this shit again, you hear me? Cottonport like every other jail place nigga won't be, you hear me? Oh, fuck. That's how it was for me. I was in intake like 3 months, so.
What's going through your mind? You had just did 12. And
right.
You go back in there. So what was going through your mind at that point? What were you thinking?
Man, I ain't lying, bro. I was, like, looking at the fucking charges, and I'm like, damn, bro, like, man, I had like 8 charges, and I'm looking at this shit like y'all just stacking a deck on it. You hear me? Like, come on, man, we to me, this is how the system is, bro. If the people can't get you to break or do what the fuck they want you to do, they against you, and at the end of the day, you can't do nothing. It's like you could be in the right, but you still in their world, whether you free or in jail. You know? Like when you fight them charges, man, that shit be crazy, man.
So this probation situation is new.
Yeah, see, I'm on house arrest because I'm out on bond. Yeah, you know, I guess they looking at it like I'm a flight risk or whatever. I don't know.
What jail did you go to?
I went to Orleans Parish to the new jail. Then you know I wound up going upstate. I had to go back up my parole time. You hear me? So I went to Cottonport. I did like 3 months in Cottonport and like 3-4 months in Allen. And that's when, you know, I came back to the parish. You know, I bonded out after that, you hear me? You know, everything's straight.
What's your plans, bro, once you beat everything and you get solid?
Oh, man, once all this over, man, I got major shit going on. I'm gonna go to Miami, see what's up with Stunner. I got some shit, man, BG working on. So, you know, I gotta, you know, fuck with Jizzle with that, you hear me? At the end of the day, you know, I'm good though. Everything looking good for me though. You know, everything good. You hear me?